Hi, welcome to this week's Link Together Spotlight. So I have Bill Bedowen from Alaskan Viewpoint Lodge here with me tonight. So Bill, welcome. And if you could tell us what led you to be a nuclear submarine officer to having the Alaskan Viewpoint Lodge?
Hello, Leanne. It's a pleasure to be with you. I became a nuclear submarine officer because I figured out I was pretty good at math and science. I figured out I want to be an engineer, and the Navy paid for my education, and I went to nuclear power school, and I had the opportunity to drive submarines around the ocean for 20 years and go all over the world, and it was just amazing. One of the things I learned in the nuclear Navy was a real innovative way of doing education, people how to think and how to learn and how to work. And I said, when I get out of the Navy, I'd like to see if that works in classrooms, um, because I think it's a better way of doing things. So when I got out of the Navy, I got my master's in teaching, and I started teaching at a private school in Washington State. We built it into a high school, and sure enough, you use the content to teach kids how to think about anything, how to learn on their own, how to work independently and in groups, that they learn the content better and they become amazing students. And I had the opportunity of doing that in Washington State, and then up here in Alaska, and then in Oregon, and then back in Washington State. And after about 20 years of doing that, I said, I'd kind of like to go back to Alaska, but my wife really wants to spend the winters in Washington State because she thinks 40 degrees below zero is too cold. Some of us just think it's way cool. I'll give you way, way cool. Uh, and so we got to thinking, put our heads together and said, hey, what if we started a bed and breakfast and operated in the spring, summer, and fall, and then came down to Washington for the winter, and that's what we did. And that was 2 years ago. And we bought this place up in Alaska, and we converted it into a bed and breakfast, and we have 5 rooms, each with their own bathroom, because we rebuilt the entire downstairs, and we live right in the heart of Alaska. This is the Golden Heart City, and it has access to just amazing places. So that's what we do, and it's been exciting to meet people from literally all over the world and hear their stories. And we're really pleased to be able to present this amazing wild land and all it has to offer to the people who want to come and see what Alaska is.
So, Bill, your world and my world are just so vastly different. I'm here a farmer in South Australia, and, I'm at the bottom of the world and you're at the top of the world. So I know very little about Alaska. And so that's why this interview is so exciting. So if you were explaining to a farmer from South Australia about the sorts of things, so, why would I come to your lodge, and what would I do and what would I see when I came?
Well, if you came in March through April, or you came in September through October, one of the biggest draws up here in Fairbanks is to see the aurora. And the aurora borealis is one of those wonders of the world that is just worth coming to see. Other things in Alaska, in and about Alaska, the boreal forest stretches out right from our deck, and the Alaska Range is right in front of us. And so this this beauty that thrills me with wonder, the silence that fills me with peace. That's what you really experience when you're sitting on the deck or sitting in the living room here. It's a wonder. It's mesmerizing. It draws you in. There are so many things to see in and around Fairbanks in the spring and the summer and the early fall. We have an amazing museum up at the university, the Museum of the North, and it's like none other. We have Riverboat Discovery, we have Gold's Dredge 8, we have the Alaska Railroad System that goes all the way down to Anchorage, and we have the Kramer's Field Migratory Waterfowl Refuge, and then not far away we have Denali National Park, which is just one of the most amazing national parks in the whole system, and it's worth just seeing the huge mountain of North America, and to see the animals and the moose and the bears and the Dall sheep and the caribou. Um, some people like to take a flight to go up above the Arctic Circle. And there's Chena Hot Springs, which is about 50 miles away. It's there's a lot to do. People have stayed here a week and not run out of things to do. And we are just about 7 miles outside of town. So it's far enough out of Fairbanks so that you're not, and so you actually see the boreal forest and the Alaska range out in front of you, but it's easy access as well. So yeah, it's you think about most of where people live, they live in this quilt of civilization, and we have these little pockets of wild where we kept the national parks or the some of the national forests. Well, this is a quilt of wild with little pockets of civilized. Now, whether you consider Fairbanks as one of those pockets of civilized, I guess you could debate that back and forth. But we'd like to call it civilized.
It sounds an absolutely amazing place. And look, Bill, I know with LinkedIn, we've talked about the LinkedIn presence that you have and how you've been posting stuff about your Wilderness Lodge on LinkedIn. And for people, we've only got a short space of time right now from the perspective of this interview. So if people's Bill is an amazing storyteller. So if people would actually like to take a listen to some of Bill's stories, please just visit Linked Together Live and listen to the whole nearly hour interview with Bill. But for me, that's been one of the really powerful things that I've realised about Bill and imagine visiting the lodge is the amount of stories that Bill is able to tell, and from a storytelling perspective and from an experience perspective, I think I can't wait at some point in time to jump on a plane and come up to the Alaskan Wilderness Lodge and Alaskan Viewpoint Lodge and spend some time with you, Bill, because it's been fantastic. So, Bill, if you can just tell everyone how to get in touch with you as far as, if they want to lodge, if you can just give us your TripAdvisor. I know that you're on TripAdvisor and also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So if you can just tell us how to get in touch with you, that'd be great.
Okay, so we have a website, AlaskanViewpoint.com. We're on LinkedIn, Alaska Viewpoint. We're on Facebook under the same name, Alaska Viewpoint. And you can find the Alaska Viewpoint Lodge on TripAdvisor. And the amazing people that have been here have posted just the most gracious interviews I could ever imagine. And we are fortunate to be number one on TripAdvisor. And so any of those ways you can get our telephone number and also our website. So all that's possible. And so we can come up here and you can hear all the stories. I mean, we didn't even talk about the fact that I broke my leg last year, the day before I shot a moose.
Oh, no, we didn't have time for that. So look, thank you, Bill. It's been fabulous, talking to you. And I really look forward to coming to Alaskan Viewpoint Lodge at some point in time. So thank you. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.